And good morning, everybody. Welcome to the video report of Game 1 of the 2009 World Series for PhillyBurbs.com. I'm Kevin Cooney, along with Mike Sielski.
Along with Sandy Eagle.
Along with Sandy Eagle. This is the original, by the way, logo for Yankee Stadium from across the street. So this was on the side to the building. A little history lesson there for you.
You're burying the lead.
I'm burying the lead. Lead is Cliff Lee. Game 1 goes to the Phillies, 6-1, behind a dominant pitching performance for the 4th time in this postseason by Cliff Lee. He goes the full route, doesn't give up a home run. Realistically, what did Cliff Lee do tonight to tone in this series at all done?
Well, he took all the pressure off the Phillies, I feel like. Let's face it. Regardless of what you think of the actual makeup of these two teams, prevailing wisdom is that the Yankees are going to win this series. Cliff Lee took that idea and completely turned it on his head tonight. Struck out 10, changed speeds, totally dominated, particularly the middle of the Yankees line. Alex Rodriguez struck out 3 times, including the next to last out of the game. And now all of a sudden, the entire tenor of the series shifts. Now the Phillies all of a sudden become the favorites. They can play even more loosely than they have been.
And the one thing that impressed me about Lee was his best pitches were saved for the middle of that Yankee lineup. Teixeira, Rodriguez, Posada. He really did a great job of keeping them off balance for the most part until the 9th inning.
Yeah, really, the only Yankee who got any decent swings off of Lee was Derek Jeter, which you would expect. He came into the game hitting better than 400 in the playoffs against left-handed pitching. He hit well against Lee throughout his career. But the rest of the lineup was just overmatched by Cliff Lee tonight. And of course, you know, everybody's going to talk about the 2 plays he made defensively, the little bit of nonchalant catching the pop-up, behind the back, stabbing a ground ball. That to me was really telling. It gave you an idea of this guy's mindset and how relaxed and confident he is.
Chase Utley with 2 home runs was the offensive star of the night. Utley, one off Sabathia, both off Sabathia, and he becomes one of the rare guys who are able to dominate Sabathia or get the 2 home runs. Sabathia never let 2 home runs to the same left-hander in the same game.
No, and no left-handed hitter had ever hit 2 home runs off a left-handed pitcher in the World Series since Babe Ruth did it in 1928. So that's a pretty rare company. You know, one of the things that the home runs make you think of, Kevin, is back in 2005, when Charlie Manning was in his first year as the Phillies manager, he actually compared Utley's swing to that of Billy Williams and Wade Boggs, and this was before Utley was a full-time player.
Right.
So
you still share time with
Placido Polanco. So, you know, that was what tonight made me think of. The fact those 2 short, quick swings, 2 strikes against CC Sabathia, particularly that second one, that 0-2 pitch that hit in the seats. Really an impressive performance by Chase Utley tonight.
Lost among the Utley at-bats. Raul Barnes with a huge hit there.
Yes.
2-out single in the 8th that broke the game. Kind of open there at that point. It went from 2-0 to 4-0, and it showed a little bit of what this team has become. They aren't all long ball. They still are a long ball team. They can hit a lot of home runs, but they can generate some offense too.
What it showed, I think, is something that could be a big difference in this series, which is the youth of the Yankee bullpen. You know, Phil Hughes couldn't get the ball over the plate tonight. The Phillies were able to tack on 4 runs after Sabathia came out of the game. And for all the talk about how maligned the Phillies bullpen is and how uncertain it is, the fact of the matter is the Yankees bullpen didn't perform, other than Mariano Rivera, has not performed great in these playoffs. And tonight was another example of that. And if the Phillies can keep doing what they've done, take an early lead, stretch that, get to that Yankee pen, I think they're going to be in good shape.
A lot of the talk coming up in New York to the game 1 was this was almost a must-win for the Yankees. With Sabathia going on the mound, with the momentum they could build up and everything, and not wanting to go back to Philadelphia, split with the way the Phillies have played at Citizens. If game 1 is a must-win, what's game 2 at this point with AJ Burnett?
You got to win game 2 if you're the Yankees. But if you do, all of a sudden the tenor of the series shifts again, I think. Because you're going back to Philadelphia, having won the last game, you're facing Cole Hamels, who, while he pitched well against you earlier in this season, has not pitched well in these playoffs. And has given up an awful lot of home runs to lineups that aren't as good as the Yankees lineup. So, believe me, this series is a long way from being over. Having said that, Pedro comes out tomorrow night and shuts the Phillies down, shuts the Yankees down, there's going to be some panic buttons going on in the Big Apple.
Of course, this being New York, I got to ask you a question. What was your favorite celebrity sighting tonight?
I would have to say Mike Luke. I think that was my favorite celebrity sighting.
He's the biggest star in this ballpark, baby.
Mike Luke is October.
We will be back here tomorrow night after Game 2 of the World Series, and we'll be heading back home for Games 3, 4, and 5 in Philadelphia. From Mike Sielski, I'm Kevin Cooney. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow here on PhillyBurbs.com.